Trollord Games. Join the fray.
Hello, and how goes it? It is March 23rd, 2021, and we are doing something today. How's it going, Kadora? I will at some point in the show... Oh, wait, okay, I wasn't supposed to read that. We're doing a raffle today, so at some point we'll have a raffle going on. How's it going, Retro? Real Dogrum? All kinds of things going on, and I can't keep up with it. I was on the road this morning, so I'm kind of out of it just a little bit. Went up to the mountains to see Davis, go over a whole slew of stuff, including the NPC Almanac. That's actually mostly what we talked about was the NPC Almanac. So all good news on that front, but I came zipping down the mountain in some crazy traffic until I got here and jumped into the stream. I gotta say, for those people who are younger, and I should probably wait this until the stream fills up, but the left-hand lane is a passing lane. The right-hand lane is the cruising lane. So get out of the left-hand lane. Lots of driving. Surprise, yeah. Yeah, no kidding. It's always categories around here. Isn't that a game? Categories, something like that. I think I called Tim at one point babbling some craziness about getting the player's handbook out there to a wider audience, and I can't really remember what I said. I just said, I remember saying, write this down. I'm going to forget before I take my exit. That's all I remember. How's it going, Johnny? So just one of those days, one of those entertaining days that we all experience from time to time as things just, thank God, as things, get ahead of you a little bit. Sometimes things get ahead of you and you got to catch up. So you got to pick up your pace. We've all been there a gajillion times. We're not quite as good as the squirrels, though. I see them out there. I just put some feed out, and I see them out there getting to the feed. So they're getting ahead of it, too. How's it going, old school? I'm sick of the kids telling me while I'm in the slow lane. What is it? I can't remember what my nephew said. Now, he's 20. We were coming back from GaryCon a couple of years ago. He was driving, and he was in the left-hand lane, and he was just driving at the speed limit, normal speed. And I waited a little bit. I said, what are you doing? I can't remember what he said. I said, this is the passing lane. And he said, no, it's the... What did he say? I can't remember what he said. I think it was, no, it's the fast lane. And he wasn't particularly going that much faster than the speed limit. And I said, no. It's not the fast lane. It's the passing lane. If you're not passing someone, get in the other lane. Because you all know, when you're driving in that left-hand lane, suddenly you look in your mirror, there's no one there. And then you look in your mirror like three minutes later, and someone's right up in your bumper. And because they're zooming at 600 gajillion miles an hour. And sometimes that's me, because I tend to drive a little bit too fast. But some places actually give tickets for not passing that lane. I haven't seen that in forever. But I do remember that happening way back when. I tend to drive a little bit faster than I should. So I tend to be in that lane a lot, but I always jump over, constantly weaving in and out, because I know there's people out there running a lot faster than me. I got a $100 ticket coming to see you at Gen Con for passing a truck in that lane. See, that's the thing. It's actually illegal to pass on the right-hand side. So if someone's in the left-hand lane and you pass them, that's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. You can get a ticket for that. How's it going, Ultra Magnus? That was a great game the other day, dude. I loved your last stand at the riverbank. That was pure awesome. That's the way to go. If you're going to go out, that's definitely the way to go. You'll get a ticket if you're holding up the left lane in Colorado. Good. No, I was in the passing lane. I just hit... Oh, well. Okay, well, that's on you, buddy. That's just you breaking the law. So, yeah, I've had a couple of tickets in my day, so I know that... I know the thing there. The deal. We are pretty excited around here. We got finally... I don't think it's going to impact the streams. Well, no, it should. We got the TLG servers in. They're partially set up. We're going to wait till after GaryCon to get it all set up and get everybody on board on the server. So that's very exciting. And Davis's new computer part of it has arrived. The microphone will be here today. I'm hoping the tower drive arrives. So Davis has gotten a computer that's like 15 years old, so it just can't do anything that he needs it to do. So I'm going to get it all set up with all the software that he needs and all that goobly-goop, and get it up to his mountain retreat where he does his creativity. And so this is good. I think that in the next week or so, post Gary Con, we should our game should be stepped up just a little bit less chaos in the troll dens, which to me is always a very wonderful thing. Thanks all for all the streams last week. Thanks for joining. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for joining us. It was a blast. Actually, really enjoyed that. It was really kind of cool, earmarking the time and jumping in and then doing a whole bunch of different stuff, having different conversations about different stuff. Since we're always trying to cram everything into the AMA, we spread it out. Mostly the discussions about movies and television shows and such, but it's all good, all very, very good. How's it going, Perry? Let's see, stick around for today's show. Blah, 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 blah. We are giving away 5 Gary Con Ethereal badges, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Mac, we got to get his setup. His setup is atrocious. We just got to get it put together so that he can get into Discord and get all of that running. A lot of us, not us, well, me too, I suppose, before Tim and Chuck put it all together, but we just use old systems, so yeah, and that's kind of where he is. And I think he does a lot of Apple products. I don't know, I have no idea, but anyways, we're going to get him up to speed, and because I want to get him on for a longer show where he can actually see questions in the stream, because he can see any of that, see the questions, and actually, convey a lot of the creative process that went into the actual mechanics of Castles and Crusades. Because he and Davis did that. They lived on the same street, across from one another, so that they would go to each other's houses every night and work on that stuff and write and do all of that stuff and then send it over to me and da-da-da-da. So he's got a very unique bird's eye view of the creation, an interior view of the creation of CNC. So then it's nice to have that brought out. I watched, thank you, Obsidian, thank you very much. I watched Legend again because of that AMA. That's a fantastic movie. Absolutely fantastic movie. I don't know that I've ever seen any of those that aren't the theatrical release, but that Legend is, to this day, one of my favorite fantasy movies, if not my favorite. I don't know what would have supplanted it. I don't know what movie off the top of my head that I would consider more enjoyable for myself than Legend. It just had so many elements to it that I just absolutely love. How's it going, Great Babe? At any rate. So we're here today for, Tim Curry's fantastic in it. For Ask Me Anything, I am Stephen Chenault, CEO of Troll Lord Games, and late of a madcap drive across the state of Arkansas, and we're here to jibber-jabber about whatever. So questions you have about the company, what we're doing, what we do, who I am, what's going on, Kickstarters, whatever, throw them out here in the feed, and I'll do my best to tackle them. Steve, I started watching Sweet Home on Netflix. It's a good one to check out. I think you would like it, Sweet Home. So I gotta say, I so thoroughly enjoyed Bly Manor. Now, I really enjoyed The Haunting of Hill House. But Bly Manor really resonated with me, and I think it's there's bittersweet elements to it, there's horror elements to it, there's this fantastic twist in the whole kind of thematic thing. So I've been looking for something along those lines of those two shows. I'm looking at Sweet Home right now, Great Babe. I'm trying to call it what it is without actually... Sweet Home. Oh yeah, that looks like something I would really enjoy. Good, I've got something to watch tonight. And it's a good season, good deal. Alright, thank you, Great Babe. That's right up my alley. That's not quite like the Bly thing and Haunting of Hill House, but that's, I love post-apocalyptic stuff. I love violent stuff, and I love people struggle against the impossible. It's what I like to put into my games, and it's what I like to watch on the TV. or the movies or whatever we're doing. Very cool. All right, I'll check it out tonight. I'm still kind of winding down the X-Files, but taking a couple week break as I just need a little more violence. I love Mulder and Scully. I cannot vocalize how much I love those two characters and the actors, but I need some violence occasionally. So I like to go, I like to swing out and watch something that's tearing it up. Indeed, and Steve is right. The mirror scene with the Lord of the Darkness is awesome. It is just beyond insane. When that hoof comes out, and I can still hear it. I can hear it anytime I think about it. Hoof comes out of the mirror and touches the ground, and there's that crunching sound of just old decay. The darkness has stepped out from his wherever that he is. He has stepped out into this world of ancient decay, power, and darkness. It's just a fantastic scene. Very moving. In the director's cut of Legend is the weird references to Pasazu and Darkness's father, which is demonic chair throne thing. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm going to have to go back and look at it. It's been on my mind to watch it, but particularly since we did the last Kill Rabbit said. Killer Rabbit, it's, is that an Elmer Fudd thing? Killer Rabbit. That is an Elmer Fudd thing. I just showed my age on that one. But it's been on my mind to go back and watch Legend. That and True Romance for some strange reason. That's been rolling around in my sad little head. What the hell was that? Let's see. I just picked up the entire series of the original Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers. Very cool. Battlestar Galactica really holds up. Buck Rogers, not so much. Yeah, I bailed on Battlestar Galactica whenever they added that little kid to it. It was like Super Genius or something. I remember that back in '78. Whenever the hell that was. I bailed on the series. I just couldn't take it. I really have never liked, even when I was a kid, I never liked kids doing adult roles in shows. And it's not a reflection on the actors. The actors, they do a great job. I mean, they're kids doing a job. They got a job. That's a good thing. But it's just for me, I really prefer Alien and Aliens and that stuff. Let's see. Hey, Trolls, really enjoyed it. Thank you for that, Willie. It was a lot of fun. We're going to do it again sometime. We're going to try to do that once a quarter, I think. Not horrible to talk about the wrapping up. The X-Files got me thinking about old TV series. Yeah, there's some good ones, and the X-Files is right up there. So much space. Disco and Buck Rogers. Yeah, Buck Rogers is a... Isn't Buck Rogers the one with that beep, 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 beep robot thing with the Flavor Flav's clock on his chest or something? Yeah, I couldn't do the Buck Rogers. I love the ships. They look badass. And I like, what's his name? Whoever plays, that's not Lee Majors, is it? Is it Lee Majors? Whoever plays Buck Rogers, I love the guy, but the little robot, I'm out. I was done. It's just like, and this is, everyone's going to hate me for this one. The original Clash of the Titans, man, I was loving that movie until that owl showed up. And when that owl showed up, yeah, Twiki. Gil Gerard, there you go. But when Twiki showed up in the Last of the Mohicans, whatever, I just said it. Clash of the Titans. When the owl showed... when that owl showed up, my suspension of disbelief was destroyed. And I just saw this... Whatever. I don't know. I was not amused with the owl. I remember watching that in the theater, too. I just was not amused. Also, Lock and Key on Netflix was great. It's more along the lines of a young adult on a hunting series with the different types of keys. Yeah, I remember that one. Hadn't seen that. There was a pilot episode... That was in just the pilot? Really? The Twiki was just in the pilot? Or was the kid in the pilot? No, there's no way, because they did the kid comes in like season 4 or some craziness. How's it going, Chad Skiles? There was a surprising amount of skin, but yes, there was. Those were the 70s, so it was a little easier in those days. Twiki. What? That was great. Well, that was better than the mechanical one. Yeah, I don't need any of it. I don't need any of that. Flavor Flav played Twiggy the robot. There you go. Axis Mel Blanc, who voiced Bugs Bunny. Any chance we can get some more of those specialty TLG like one-offs? What are you talking about? No, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Let's see, the owl blew the suspension of disbelief in the skeletons. Yep, absolutely. It was out. I'm out. I'm done. I just couldn't. It was so funny. The kid in Battlestar Galactica in episode 1? No way. He's like, it's like when they go to Earth or something. I can't remember. It's been too many years. Steve, what's your opinion of the pod hardback quality from Lightning? I've seen one. I do not like to criticize other companies and the way they do things. Well, that was a lead-in, wasn't it? So, what I will say is what you're going to get from Lightning Press is if it's a soft cover, it's going to be a really good book, and if it's a hardcover, it's going to be inline gluing. Not inline gluing. It's going to be I can't remember what it's called. We haven't used it in so many years, where they just glue the pages or the signatures to the headboards, and it's not got a lot of longevity to it. It's got decent longevity to it, so you're not going to buy a book from Lightning Source and it falls to pieces. You're going to have to be a little bit more gentle with it, but for those of you who know, I'm a huge advocate of very strong bindings on hardback books, particular sizes of books, and the Smythe Stone is the minimum we'll do. It's much better than it's not inline gluing. What the hell is that called? Can't remember. At any rate, so you want to get a good, decent quality book. It's not going to stand up for as long as something that we do here, or like Frog God. I know Frog God does Smythe Stone. I'm pretty sure Goodman does Smythe Stone as well. But Battlestar Galactica was only one season? Are you crazy? Really? What is it, 800 episodes? What the hell? That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. You know, I would absolutely love to do almost some more dice. We've done quite a few sets in the past, and we haven't in a while. I used a local manufacturer. They're not with us anymore. And I'd have to kind of reinvent the whole approach to that. And I was actually, it's funny you said, I was talking to Davis about doing wooden dice this weekend. I love the idea of wooden dice. I have absolutely no idea why I love the idea of wooden dice. But I think they would be kind of cool. I don't think they would hold up, like the high plastic crap we get now. But not crap, it's good stuff. But I think some wooden dice would be really, really cool. What do you think of that? What do you guys think of wooden dice? I don't know, but I think I can have those made pretty easily. I know a guy who might be able to do it. The kid was in the Galactic 80s show where they retooled it to the guys on Earth with motorcycles. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. I remember that I watched like 1 or 2 episodes with the kid and I was out. Have you watched the series The 100? That is another good one. And I've watched like 5 episodes of that, and that was pretty good, and I'm not sure why. I think I just got distracted and went elsewhere. I may have to recheck that out, because that one pops up all the time on Netflix or Hulu, wherever I'm jumping around. And don't you diss Harry. I'm not dissing Harryhausen. I'm dissing the owl. The owl just needed to go. Bless their heart. There you go. Battlestar Galactica in 1980 had that child as an adult and flying motorcycles. That's what I'm thinking of. The kid with the robot dog started with the pilot. I remember that robot dog. All right, but the Battlestar Galactica still, I don't believe it was one season. I'm just never gonna believe it. They did all that ruckus about making a new show. What is it, like Firefly? Like that's a real thing. Great, they have that in Best Left Forgotten. Yeah, no kidding. Posting on wish lists. Bone dice would be better. What would be better is to make dice out of Dr. Pepper cans melted down. That would be awesome. I have an old Avalon Hill football game with wooden dice. They're weirdly light. I don't know. I liked the idea of it. I like recyclable stuff. I'm just a big fan of that. I'm not a huge fan of plastic stuff. Never have been. I won't drink Dr. Pepper out of plastic. Plastic drives me nuts. I've watched in my day from cars going from metal to what my dad called repressed beer cans to whatever. They're mostly plastic now, so if you bump something that costs you $12,000 or whatever, you can't bang it out, whatever. That's all in my day. But so I don't know. Some wooden dice would be kind of cool. The Battlestar reboot ran 4 seasons, but the original with the kid, wow, I would have thought that was 3 seasons. I have an old Avalon, blah, blah, blah. I've got some amber dice I picked up in Warsaw, and that'd be cool. Wooden dice are nice, but make sure the numbers are etched well. The wooden dice I had before had very shallow painted numbers, and they wore off. You always get distracted, Perry. I'm constantly distracted. For wooden dice, I would be looking for some cool dwarven quality wooden dice with colored woods, which would probably be expensive as hell. Yeah, it would be one color. Or we could stain them, right? Can't you just dip it in some stain? Tim's pretty good at that stuff. Tim, can't we just stain the dice? I see artisan dice dial in the exotic wood dice, but it took them quite some time to get the process and equipment right. Kind of expensive, but I've had some in person, and there are a lot of nice things you can do with wood. So RPG Crate, I know this guy up in Hardy, Arkansas, who's got some equipment. I don't know. I have to talk to him. That I think might actually be able to make wooden dice. I'll reach out to him. I think it would be kind of cool. Wooden dice, especially one-offs, if they had some sort of TLG CNC. Yeah, definitely have to have something, something in there that says Castles and Crusades. That would be kind of cool. Or maybe Troll Lord Games, whatever. But, and Troll Lord Games would be easier because the lettering would just be easier. Castles and Crusades has got, C's are a little bit harder to, I don't know, interesting. Otherwise, there are other companies make wooden dice. I'm playing. I passed. Damn it. I thought I had an original idea, Omote. Dang it. How's it going, Sea Grimper? Used to have that as an action figure when I was a kid. Muffet and a Cylon. Muffet. So Muffet's the dog. This is, what was it? Battlestar Galactica had the dog? Muffet. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a miracle I watched that TV show. Isn't that like Alf? Is this Alf's uncle or something? Good heavens. My first dice were wood ones. I don't want to knock anyone's. If you enjoyed the show, that's fantastic. But I've always had this thing about, I don't know, it's got to be, I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. My first dice were wood ones that I made in shop class. I used a disc scanner to grind down blocks. The whole place was filled with wood smoke. There you go. Tim's working the dice dip. There you go. Hey, folks, I learned a valuable lesson this week. If anyone's thinking about trying their hand at RPG publishing, here's an important piece of advice. If you have a friend who swears they know how to do layout work and say InDesign, do not trust them. A pair of fixed dice that always allow me to make saves. There you go. Let me tell you, we're rolling so bad in my Sunday game that they're going to have some kind of dice. It's a mess. I've seen dice made from fossilized bone. Now that would be badass. Bone dice. Actual bone dice would be very cool. You're going to have to do layout and InDesign is the worst. Heck yeah, we could stain it. And there you go. Let's do it. Tim, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if it's practical. I don't know if we could do it, but it sounds cool. The Battlestar Galactica dog was like the owl in Clash. Exactly. It was exactly like the owl in Clash of the Titans and Alf from that TV show and all of that. I don't know. I guess when it comes, we've talked about this before, and this is just purely a personal thing. Most people don't fall into this, I don't think. But I like to keep my genres separated. Science fiction is science fiction, fantasy, though I can bleed a little bit of that over. But serious and comedy needs to be a part. And the dog clearly was something to be cute. If you watch Logan's Run, there's nothing that I remember cute in Logan's Run. It's just killing people when they get to 35. And then two people trying to escape, and even the kids who try to kill them. I don't remember anything cute, so I don't. And I think in my head somewhere, and this is a horrible thing to say, I think that producers feel as if they have to put cute things in there to broaden the audience, and really, I don't believe that's true. It probably is true, but I don't believe it. I believe that if you want to broaden your audience, you have to make something that's widely appealing, which means you have to write really good. So I think there's that in that. Alright, Davis is sending me more NPC stuff, so that's good. There are human bone dice out there for real. Yeah, we're not going into the human bone dice market. That we're not doing. Everything we do is InDesign, blah, blah, blah. Is there a Silmarillion tabletop? Silmarillion's badass. Genius kids and comic relief characters don't mix with my fantasy either. But they sell good as toys. Yeah, that's part of it. There's probably a whole marketing thing that goes into it. And I'm the same way when it comes to comedies. And so very, very many comedies do this. They'll have, it's funny, it's hilarious, you're rolling into it. It's somewhere around about the hour mark. Maybe hour and 15 minutes. As you're getting towards the end, they have to include some kind of long, droopy, sad, sappy, whatever love scene or whatever, where someone is all broken, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I just want to laugh. I want it to be like the Holy Grail. You got me laughing when you were banging the coconuts together, and you had me laughing all the way down to the end when they were thrown in the ambulance or the paddy wagon. That's my type. That's why I like, who's the guy? Is it Paul Anderson? Wes Anderson? Who does the movies like, I can't remember any of the movies. Bill Murray's in one of them with the Life Aquatic. Whoever does Life Aquatic. That's my type of a comedy. I just want a comedy. I just want to laugh at crap when I'm laughing at it. I don't want to stop and think, oh, this poor bastard, the love of his life is now running off with whoever. I don't care. Just make me laugh. It's just sad things. Like an RPG game. I just want the RPG to be. I just want it to be a game. I don't want anything else. I just want to play a game. But that's me. Back in my day, it was this. Listen, I will just say this for anyone who's young out there. It was every bit the same in the 1970s as it is today. Whatever you're seeing going on today is the same as it was then. Nothing's changed. It's all the same. I don't remember anything cute during the 70s with movies, especially Logan's Runner is not cute. Silent Running, not cute. Planet of the Apes, not cute. Trying to think some of these. Even Star Wars, there's really, I guess the Ewoks maybe, R2-D2 is a little bit cute, but not really. It's a functional cute. I mean, and it doesn't look cute. The Ewoks is going, not the Ewoks. Who are the little guys? The Jarbers? The Jawas. The Jarbers. The Jawas kind of look cute. But they really aren't because they chop up R2-D2 or whoever, C-3PO. They chop someone up. I recently posted a picture of the CNC coins that were produced. Any chance of reordering those? They were great in handout at conventions. It depends on what you're talking about. There was 2. There was... I don't have them here. I had them here not long ago. So there's the metal one. There's this guy. These you can still buy, I believe, on the site. And that one's bronze? No. I don't know what this is made of, but it's solid. Yeah, absolutely. These are things that we look at all the time. And I think that once we're through this insanity, and we are literally should be through it in the next 2 weeks with all these Kickstarters that we're wrapping up, 2 or 3 weeks, and then we can start re-looking at all of this stuff. So yeah, so very soon. But now the other ones were lighter. I don't know that we still have those for sale, and we'll probably do those from the same company. Great people. We'll probably do those again. We use those at my table all the time. These things are great. Wes Anderson, that's who it is. I said to Julie, everyone raves about Life of Brian, but for my money, Holy Grail is the magnum opus. I love both of those movies. I love just about everything, but those Life of Brian and the Holy Grail are fantastic movies. It's not Monty Python, but Yellowbeard is hilarious. You cannot beat stagger, crawl, as he's walking around trying to find where he buried his treasure. That is pure awesome. That was Graham Chapman, right? That's Graham Chapman plays Yellowbeard. I think that's what that was. You start with human bone dice. Next thing, you're harvesting kidneys from unsuspecting customers. Yeah, we don't need any of that. None of that. The 5e Middle Earth setting got canceled. Well, that sucks. It'll be back, though. Settled for watching Hawk the Slayer for the first time. Couldn't find it on Netflix. Let's see, about time you got on. I don't think Steve has ever failed to pull the appropriate item out of his desk. It's a big desk. And I have to keep... I wish I had a bookshelf, not there, but over here, that had everything we ever published since the year 2000. Because I have to access this crap all the time. Oh, wait, when did we do this? We did Mallee of the Kings back in 2001. What was in Mallee of the Kings? So I got to pull it, but then I can't find it. And some of that stuff was not saved properly into PDFs. In the beginning, and Jason, you'll appreciate this, in the beginning, I had no idea what a PDF was. I had no idea what any of this mess was, so I would lay things out in PageMaker. That's your pre-InDesign software. I would lay it out in PageMaker and send it to the printer, and they would do the rest. I don't know what magic they did, but there you go. And see, it's a desk of holding. Yeah. You get to the DVD saying blah, blah, blah. My dinosaur computer just crashed. Oh, there you go. That's not good. Never good, Jason. Never good. That's what Davis is dealing with every day. Top right DVD, blah, blah, blah. I like the rabbit and holograph. Yeah, and it's not cute, though. Kill a rabbit. It's not cute. I think you might like the rabbit for particular reasons. Yeah, at any rate. Good stuff all the way around. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. I would have thought that Battlestar Galactica was like three seasons or something. I don't know why I thought that. That's funny. I remember watching it, but is there another series that has the little kid and the flying motorcycles? Is that like Battlestar Galactica something? Earth, you said. Doodly-doot. Yeah, that's what it is. Earth, Battlestar Galactica, is that it? Yeah, it wasn't very good. Let's see. Instead of the bookshelf, a Steve Chenault TLG Google. No Googles. No Googles. There you go. We don't use Google around here. Hey, Tim, are we doing a giveaway? Something? Are we doing it all at once? You told me this already. I gotta go look that up. We are doing a giveaway, guys, at some point. I don't know when. Tim will tell me. We're doing a raffle. It's not a giveaway. It's a raffle. Tim will figure it out. The Middle Earth RPG is the One Ring. It's changed publishers, and the new publisher is bringing it out 2nd edition. Just had a huge Kickstarter success. I saw that Kickstarter. You have indicated that they will look to bring out a 2nd edition of the 5e rules. It's called Adventures in Middle Earth. Hey, everyone. Fine. Hey, how's it going? Steven's Strategy. I couldn't pronounce your name, and it's the same as mine. How pathetic is that? We use the whole suite of Adobe products, though. So vector art from Illustrator, raster art from Photoshop, video editing and 3D modeling prototypes, all fully integrated, and files are interchangeable. With a lot of features shared. It was a massive learning curve, though, for sure. Yeah, that's what we have here. Peter Bradley and I use, and Tim. Peter Bradley, Tim, and I all have the suite, and we all, it's a lot of, and so we're doing it all at once. That's good. We're doing the raffle all at once. So I guess we'll have 5 winners simultaneously or here soon. I love InDesign. I know Jason doesn't, but what can you do? Tell me when you give out instruction classes. There you go. So any questions, fire them at me. We've got lots of Kickstarters going on. We're wrapping up a bunch of them. I'm very happy to announce that Davis is almost completely done with the NPC Almanac. He should have all of the files for the core book to me by Friday. He's written them. He's just doing his final pass, and then we're punting on them right to the editor. A good chunk, about a third of those are already edited, so that's really good. The book's going to turn out to be much larger than I anticipated. It's going to be about 250,000 words, I think, which is going to land it in the size of about 250 pages. So that's very good, and of course it'll have all the extras. There's 12 caravans. He accidentally wrote 24, so there'll be 24 caravans. There's going to be 12 adventuring parties, 12 monster encounters, 12 something else I can't remember. And what else is it? The Book of Names. It's just a lot of stuff in there. And most of it's done now. It's nice, and he's got it very well organized. And he's just going over his final edits and hurling it at me. So that's very good. Lots of plans for expanded classes. So expanded classes will be updated very soon. I'm waiting for Peter's desk to be clear. He's actually working on a new cover of A Houseless God for me, and then I'm going to dump all of that. Expanding classes is completed. The expanding classes is completed to include all of the adventures, backpack stuff. So I'm going to punt that all to Peter for layout, probably this week, honestly. I think he'll be done with that piece he's working on this week, and then he can dive into that. But we'll see. I see. Look, Steve, if I don't get new PHB soon, my players are going to riot. Several of them have already been donated. Now we're light at the table. Now, Omo, you've caused a huge problem. A absolutely huge problem. So you all will appreciate this. So I was up yesterday with Davis going over some stuff. And he looked at me and he said, I have never corrected you or told you what to do running Troll games or how to do anything, but I'm going to change that. Now, Davis is my older brother, so I got to do what Davis says. So he pulled out the player's handbook and he said, you can never again have classes begin in the middle of a page or the middle of a column. Absolutely not. He's using the book heavily for the NPC Almanac. So he lectured me on that for a little while. And I said, well, you'll be glad to know that everybody wants that too. So Peter and I are going to work very hard to make certain that happens in the 8th printing. So blah, blah, blah. And then I said, but right now we're looking at an idea that Omut had. Someone had, I don't know, Omut seconded it, or had it, I don't know, someone had the idea, where in the spell section, we take the relevant material from the spell and put it in the first sentence. So you can read your first sentence in any spell in the player's handbook and immediately know what it does. You don't have to read all the crap. Well, Davis jumped at that idea. He loved that idea. He's like, that's a great idea, you gotta do that, blah, blah, blah. That's a huge undertaking. That is a gigantic undertaking. I'm not going to promise that that's going to be done. If I can find someone to do it, I will promise that it will be done. But they got to go into the raw text files and go in and copy and paste. And there's always problems when you copy and paste. So we'll see. Soon, almost. But you may have caused a problem. Let's see, blah, blah. Does the CK guide have instructions, guidelines for creating and or writing adventures? It certainly does for creating them. I don't think writing them necessarily. I don't think so. But it definitely has guidelines on how to get adventures going at both overland and underground. It's definitely got that. I think it's got that in there. Holy shit. Surely it's got that in there. I mean, it's a how-to for GMs. So, let me see. Expanding zone advance in the game, blah, blah, blah. That's got to be it. But, there's some of that actually in the player's handbook, now that I think about it. We're going to go with advancing the game. 256. I'm checking. Beginning the game. Plotting the adventure. Yes, thank God. It does have that in there, Stephen. Adventure types, balancing challenges, the hook, open it, plotting the adventure. Yeah, absolutely. So chapter 14, that's where you want. All right, thank goodness. I got nervous there for a minute. So I guess I would admit to taking some liberties from the floating disc spell, Steve, after discussion on Lord Gazumpa's stream, and rereading the spell for the 5th time. It appears that the disc just kind of follows you. So me moving it around probably would... No, yeah, it wouldn't have worked. I actually told after that stream, the next day I gamed with my sons and the young blood, and I told them, I said, I know some of you guys were watching this stream. Do not think for a minute that floating disc is going to do what I let it happen with Grape Ape. Yes, absolutely not. You want to take a look at the Tome Adventure design from Frog God Games. There's also a good one from Goodman. Dungeon Design A to Z or something? I can't remember. But it does say if it ever gets 50 feet from you, it disappears, which is what kind of made me think I could move it. There you go. Chuck said on Discord that the Indiegogo adventure was nearing completion. Do you have a timeline? It is done. It is printed. It will be shipped. I'm hoping tomorrow. It is sitting out there ready to go. We're going to try to get half of them out tomorrow and the other half on Thursday. That is the plan. It's actually, there was a massive miscommunication between Tim and I. I asked him to get, the book was printed and ready to ship about 2.5 weeks ago, and asked him to get me the addresses for it so that we could get it to the mailroom, and he did that to me. He did that for me, and I did not get it to the mailroom. I didn't know he'd given it to me. He told me, I just didn't read it, because sometimes Tim writes long texts, and I don't read them all. I just try to do like I want in the spells. I just want the information in the first sentence. So yes, soon, so tomorrow. They begin shipping tomorrow. Chuck sent us any guidelines for CKs making their own races or race. There's quite a bit of stuff in that on how to create monsters, things like that. Variant rules, variant race rules. That's in there. I'm pretty sure. I know we've discussed that in some book somewhere at this point. There's so many. Where did we do? Race expanding racial variants, page 35. I gotta tell you, the CKG is just, it's a hopping resource. It is really a hopping resource. We've got to get, page 35, racial variants. Absolute tons of examples and information on it. So, yeah, man, that book is a good book. Let's see, not all of the AA adventures are currently in print. Compared to the 5 EV line, what would it be reasonable to assume that would happen alongside a third printing? Yes, absolutely. That's actually what we're working on, Vendishi. The Deeper Dark trilogy it's already done. I don't know if we've printed it yet, but we're kind of sitting on everything. Now, everything's been delayed. Everything's been kind of kicked back because of the Robert E. Howard thing. We were supposed to have already launched that Kickstarter. I've moved that back for internal reasons, mostly to do with the cabinet people and all that blah, blah, blah. They're all great. Everything's great. We just got to work some stuff out. So that's kind of whiplashed through the line. But Jason Vey, who's in a stream with us today, is working on the third printing of Amazing Adventures, and there will be quite a bit of more coming out with that. It's all tied into a whole bunch of stuff that we're doing. I have that, but I was thinking along the lines of 5EGM with an idea that Cincy games should be like. As the arbitrate, if you Okay, what suggestions do you have regards to CKing an illusionist? I never had any experience with him before, and now I have a bard illusionist in my game. He is a bit like one of those stereotypical Vegas sparkly magicians. So, my bad on the PHP suggestions. There was a ton of them, but that book has got to be great for the next generation. Yeah, yeah. We'll probably, I don't know. We're looking at it. In my day, all we needed. To answer Mr. Obadiah, playing illusionist is actually, I think playing an illusionist is extraordinarily difficult. I really do, to make it interesting and realistic, and to make it something beyond just like a sleight of hand type of stuff. And I always try to push an illusionist away from that. There's a really good discussion in the Castle Keeper's Guide about illusionists and illusionist magic. If you've got the book, check it out. Mark Sandy wrote it, and it's a very in-depth discussion on kind of how to go about illusions and making them more conceptualizing them different than sleight of hand, where you're channeling magic and actually creating sights and sounds and smells, sort of like the Green Lantern, the ring. When he punches someone, that's not an illusion. It is. He's fabricated it from his mind, and he's punched them with it. And if you can get your player to kind of think in those terms, beyond the sleight of hand, beyond the disguise or whatever other abilities the illusionist has, that's the assassin, beyond any of that stuff, I think you can have a really cool class, because the player can really push the bounds of their imagination. I mean, they can really go hog wild. It's the magic that the magic user can't do. The magic user is constrained by the floating disc or the magic missile or whatever. But the illusionist, the guy playing it, the gal playing it, whoever's playing it, can actually envision something and make that happen. And then, of course, it's up to the CK to respond to however. And it's real. And that's one reason that we allow illusionist magic to heal in Castles and Crusades, because it's not a false magic. It's not sleight of hand. It's not trickery. It's not like from a Conan book where it's all hypnotism and that has nothing to do. Has a little bit to do. That's your minor illusions. That's your first and second level illusions magic. But your upper level illusions magic is the cognitive abilities of the illusionist to conjure his imagination and to deliver it onto the battlefield. That's how I envision illusionists, and I encourage players to play that way. So that would be my advice to you. Just drop that sleight of hand crap. I mean, it's not heroic. It's not epic. It's none of those things. It's cool. Card tricks are freaking awesome, but it's not that. So that's what I would toss out there. I see Steven says there is an interesting discussion about the illusions in the Discord right now. Yeah, check out the Discord channel. Lots of good stuff over there. I kind of like to see. I might be blind. I tried to control. I never read it cover to cover. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in the CKG. I've forgotten half of what's in there. It's under the Castles and Crusades text discussion. If you're looking for a link in the Discord channel, I think Troller Games might post it, blah, blah, blah. Babunski has joined us. This is all good. Catching up. There are several illusion spells that are severely open-ended. Dragon Mount. Were those gem word spells ever clarified or expanded on? They have been clarified a little bit by Jason Vey. Jason went in and clarified them a little bit in the 8th printing. They're still a little open-ended, but Jason's reined them in quite a bit. So there will be that improvement in those spells. Love the new Troll Talk image with games listed across the bottom. Very cool. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, wait, what? Oh, yeah, there you go. I don't know. I don't have anything to do with that stuff. Is the saving throw for cures really necessary? If it's really the illusionist shaping reality, shouldn't it be class or spell casting check rather than a save? What I did there, the reason that we included that in there is sometimes the player doesn't want that to transgress or happen, and that's not really the way to put it. It's covered in the CKG. I'd have to dive back into it. If I remember correctly, the idea was the illusionist we wanted to put some kind of limitations on his ability so that he didn't match the cleric spell for spell. That way, the illusionist is having to actually exert their power to overcome your belief in your wounds being, you incapable of healing them. Because what it boils down to is you're healing the mind, the wounded person's mind. Now, I might be off, but I think this is the way it's written up in the CKG. The wounded person's mind is healing themselves. You know, if you go to the doctor, they'll frequently tell you that part of the healing process is your attitude, right? You have faith in yourself. You've got a good attitude about it. You think you can get through this thing, and that helps immeasurably. And it really does. It really does with most conditions in life. If you just have a good attitude about it, it helps a little bit. So we took that and ran with it. So the idea is the magic is being placed upon you, and you're convinced that magic is powerful enough to heal your wound, and your mind heals it telekinetically. I don't know what that would be called. I can't think of any examples in fiction and movies where someone heals themselves. Isn't there like Wolverine? How does the Wolverine? That's just his genetic mutation, right? That's just a genetic mutation. So that's not like his mind healing himself. Maybe in Resident Evil, I don't know, I can't remember. But that's kind of the idea behind that, Vindici. The idea is that the illusionist does have to overcome that, and we didn't want to completely take away from the cleric's huge role in healing. Let's see, just trying to define what they actually do. Are we raffling it? Did we raffle? We are raffling. I recall a few years ago, someone cast the Illusionist Dragon summoning spell at one of Steve's big game at GaryCon, and the intent of the spell is clearly to be the Illusionist version of Fly, but since it didn't say you couldn't, the woman was using Breath Weapon and Dragon. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so he has, it is somewhat clarified, which is good. It's very good. There was a hell of a thing at Steve's table for 2 damn years. Yes, it was. I know exactly who it is. She's a hilarious player, too. Mind over matter, if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. Yeah, there you go. So I believe, if I remember correctly, Mark and I worked on those. Now, Mark was the primary. Mark is a very good game designer. He really is. He was the primary writer on a drive to change the nature of the illusionist. And I think it did very well. I really like. One, it gives another avenue of healing, and we've talked about this before in the games. I don't like the fact that just the cleric and the druid and then occasionally the paladin can heal. There's got to be different modes because you end up forcing the cleric into a role that perhaps they don't want to play. They may, and that's fantastic, but they may not want to. So I think CNC has done a pretty good job at diversifying that particular skill set without weakening the cleric so that other classes can heal, so that there's some capacity for healing at the table. Because when you get, as you know, for those of you who've been playing for a while, when you get 5th and 6th level or so, it gets tough to heal quickly. And if you're in a game like mine, when you get wounded, you stay wounded until you're healed. It can be a lot of sitting around. Of course, that's how I eat up their gold, right? They end up in an inn somewhere and they're spending 100 gold pieces or 50 gold pieces, whatever it is. I think it's 21 actually, for food, room, and board, and it just eats up the gold. That Mark Sandy is good at this scene. Yeah, Mark's actually very good at it. He's a good game designer. He called me the other day with an idea. What the hell was that? I hadn't seen Mark in a few weeks. He doesn't work for us much anymore. He comes over, works in the print shop some, helps me with some particular stuff. But I think he's fixing to move to Arizona or New Mexico. I told him I'm going to buy a horse and ride out and see him, but I can't remember what he told me. Something about putting a book together. It's a good idea. I scribbled it down somewhere. I always prefer the cleric as an undead and demon bane as opposed to a healer anyways. Yeah, all I want for the cleric for any class is for the player to be able to play what they want to play. Whatever they envision that class as designed by the game. I want them to be able to play it, and I don't want the magic user like Dakota. He plays the magic user in our Youngbloods game. That's what I'm calling the Sunday game from now on. And he's got a lot. He has got as many information spells as combat spells, and that's really cool. He wants to play that type of magic user, so he shouldn't be forced or constrained into any particular type of spellcaster, and that's too often what happens to the cleric. Back in OD&D and BXD&D, the cleric didn't even get spells until 2nd level, but they could turn undead right away. Oh, that's cool. What year did you get into printing? We opened the print shop in 2005. It was very early on. This was actually Davis's idea. We looked into it. Printing was extraordinarily expensive, and what kind of tipped us I shouldn't say it was extraordinary. It was expensive. It was a huge expense in the company, and what tipped me over to actually invest the money into it. I went out. I was at a convention in California, and I had to have some books short printed to get them out there. I think I had like 40 of them printed. I can't remember. It was from, in those days, PODs were very rare. So I got a hold of a POD. I believe it was Lightning Press, honestly, and it was so expensive to print them and have them shipped. And then they showed up damaged. And, you know, I was at the convention. There's nothing I can do. There's literally nothing I could do. And that tipped me over. It cost, I don't know, the shipping bill was ludicrous. The weight was heavy, and it was a 2-day ship, and it was just absolutely ludicrous. So I came back and said, all right, we're doing this print shop thing. I'm not doing that mess ever again. Bought a print shop, and I can tell you now, we've had books showed up at conventions damaged, and I'll call back here and say, hey, I need 25 copies of Assault on Blacktooth Ridge. Dropped it, overnight it to me right now, pack it well. And we got it the next day. And the only thing we're out is a shipping fee, and it's fantastic. So the print shop has been instrumental in keeping TLG afloat in some pretty rough weather over the past 20 years. There's been 2 or 3 times that print shop has really really been a good thing. A very, very good thing. Let's see if I missed any questions there. I did not. So we got some winners, it looks like. Commander Pete, K Brightwing, Lucid Macabre, Dark Lights, M5. Congratulations for the ethereal badge to Gary Con. I hope you have a lot of fun. We'll be there doing a lot of panels. Jason will be there. I'll be there. All kind of panels. And I'm running a game on Friday. So please join us for all of that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Do you print anything other than TLG products? We actually outsourced for many years, for about a decade maybe. We outsourced. We did for a whole bunch of other companies, many of which you know. I don't want to name any of them because a lot of companies keep that private, but you've probably got some of their books on your shelves. Good people, good friends of mine. I still work with most of them. But I curtailed that in just a couple of years ago. What is this, 2021? Yeah, are we? Yeah, 2021. Probably 2 years ago. I rolled that back. There was a whole bunch of other things going on, but primarily our sales were picking up at enough that TLG products were getting delayed in the print shop to print other people's products. So I let everybody know in 5 months, I can't remember what I gave them 4 or 5 months, we're going to stop this printing. Get us your last jobs, and please find another printer before we shut down this side of things. So about 2 years ago, I think, we shut that end of the business down and haven't looked back. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Steve, don't tell me I'll be there. They might not show up at all. They will be there. It's the typical, it's good panels. We've done these panels before. TLG's in a very unique position because we started this business really before the internet became this mainstay that it is. Back in 2000, very, very few people ordered online, and Amazon wasn't even very big. I know it existed, but it was very small. It was a bookstore, I think, in those days. And printing, there were still blue lines from the original books, like the Codex of Erd, the Canteen Crew, Malady King's Line Ropes. I have the blue lines, literal blue lines for those books. All of that's digital now, of course. So we've gone from that to a complete opposite of the way things are produced, to the way things are even manufactured. POD wasn't a thing when we started. If it was so rare that you couldn't really find many people. So we'll be doing that panel, which is always a lot of fun, kind of give a perspective of where we are now and where we're going. So that's very cool. And then we'll talk about working with Gygax. That'll be a lot of fun. There's a Greyhawk panel. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Check out the GaryCon schedule. Trollord's all over it. Elf Lair Games, that's Jason's company. It's all over it. And I'll be there jib, jab, jabbering away. And we're doing GM's Tricks of the Trade on Thursday, like we normally do. It'll just be co-hosted here and at GaryCon. So lots and lots of fun. And now a bunch of you got ethereal badges. Well, I think that's about it tonight. I see my Skype is lighting up. Davis has got all kinds of stuff. I think he's really ready to wrap up the NPC Almanac and be done with it so he can move on to other projects, which I think we're all kind of ready to. We're all ready to jump into this Planescape stuff and get CKG and PH and Warden and Almanac, and there's something else going on out. So lots of good stuff. At any rate, thank you all for showing up for the stream. I sure appreciate it. If you have not already, please give us a follow. We're working on this all the time, building this whole community, and we love it when you guys join us at the table. It's just a lot of fun. So please give us a follow, and we will see you Thursday at some point. Thursday at 4, I think, Central Standard Time for GM's Tricks of Trade. Come out and join us then, and then again, check out all kinds of GaryCon stuff. And then next week, we're going to roll into a little bit more. I think we're going to add a permanent late night discussion of movies and TVs that's on the table. So lots of stuff going on. Thank you all for showing up. Sure do appreciate it. Sure love this round table that we have. And now I'm going to go eat some spaghetti. All right. Take care, everybody.